But is the FDC undergoing an expected political split in decision-making, or is it in fact splintering yet again? Our guest tonight is Erias Lukwago, the party vice president for Buganda and Lord Mayor for Kampala. Mr. Lord Mayor, thank you so much for having honored our invitation. A warm welcome to you.
Thank you. It's a pleasure being hosted here.
Mr. Lord Mayor, the spotlight is on you tonight, and I'm going to begin with fresh things, the things that have just happened now. And I'm talking about, like I said in the introduction,
Sure.
the chairman of the party of the Forum for Democratic Change scaling down a wall at the party offices in Najja Nkumbi, running for his life, is despicable, to say the least.
Sure.
What was that about? And where were the leaders?
I entirely agree with you. That awful sin is reprehensible. It's despicable. That ugly sin, totally unacceptable. I literally had to shed tears, I must tell you. That old man with gray hair, very innocent, calm, amiable, being subjected to that horrible treatment. It's the least one would expect from Najja Nkumbi.
But you see, this, as despicable as it may be, as disgusting and gut-wrenching as it may be, is also coming from your political home.
Allow me first and foremost, before you take me there, to extend my heartfelt apology. First, to the bona fide members of the party. I think they deserve better than this. It's heart-rending to them. It's heartbreaking. And the Ugandans at large, the respect, the kind of reverence they have been, taking FDC for, it's going down the drain. Very, very unfortunate. So allow me.
Look at that. Look at that. Waswa Birigwa, ambassador. Waswa Birigwa, an elder. An elder.
Total unacceptable.
A man you've called amiable. A jolly good guy. A man who loves his country and is serving it well. To be running away from his office, the headquarters of a party. What was inside there must have been kind of goons.
Not must have been. Indeed, it was captured on your own cameras. And again, I apologize for the mayhem that happened at the entrance to our place there, to our headquarters. The kind of barbaric treatment subjected to the journalists. Those who were beaten, those who were mauled, those who had their phones snatched, the way the goons pounced on them, the unleashed terror on them, subjected them to inhuman and degrading treatment, that horrible environment. I couldn't believe it was happening at our headquarters.
You're the party vice president for Buganda. This is happening on home turf. This is happening in an area where you should have more leverage than any other leader in FDC party. So what was going on? What culminated, what brought this to happen really? That the boiling point, what was happening?
I'm yet also to come to terms.
But how do you not get to terms?
Believe me, I'm speaking deep from my heart. And I'm telling you this. You know, it's always said that when you talk of something you have never seen before in your life, it tells volumes about your age, that probably you are not grown up. But I'm 53 years now. And I thought I had seen enough, at least in terms of internal squabbles within political parties, that it wouldn't go to that extent, to the extent of desecrating the party headquarters. You know, those places, oh my God. So you are asking a wrong person about what explains that.
You know why? Because I have to ask you, because you're a senior leader of the party.
Yeah, true.
You are a vice president of the party.
True.
Buganda region.
True.
You are the Lord Mayor of the city. If anything, if anybody should know.
But I'm also human.
I know.
I can get overwhelmed.
If anybody should know the internal problem, what happened before reaching that boiling point, it should be on the Honorable Erias Lukwago.
Well, of course I can get the lead here and there.
So what happened?
And one or the other.
To this ugly sin.
One or the other, one, I could say probably, because I know the goings on within the party. Yes, on the one hand, you may say, I saw it coming. Indeed, it's true, I saw it coming. But not to that magnitude, not to that kind of extent. You see, what I would expect probably was these people getting the support from the police to do the kind of things that happen there, but not hiring hoodlums, thugs, you know, getting chief face, getting rascals.
Yeah, but who is getting rascals? Who is getting kifesi? Who is hiring them?
Of course, the people were in charge of the headquarters.
So if FDC is hiring kifesi, is hiring hooligans?
That is what is baffling me. And that's why
You're totally not in control, are you?
I concede. I concede. Indeed, we are not in control. And party members are not in control. The party has been hijacked. And that's the sad reality. The party is in captivity.
I want to get into the issues of the last 24 hours later, but I needed, maybe we're a media organization, so we'll deal with something that is newsy. That what happened to Ambassador Bidugwa is something...
And the journalists as well.
Yes, and the journalists.
Yes.
And in turn at the New Vision. You know, why? Why subject a young reporter who just come to do their job?
I'm telling you.
And beat them to pulp? They go when they are bleeding.
That's why I had nothing to say about that, save for tendering an apology for and on behalf of the well-intentioned members of the party.
Why do you tell Ugandans that you saw this coming?
Of course, I am not a political novice.
True, you're not.
Yeah, I'm not. You know that. I have been in the thick of a number of such things, not only in FDC, but also in the party where I belonged before. I know the situation obtaining the general political environment in which we are operating. Yesterday at the press conference when I accompanied Dr. Chiza Besigye, we made it unequivocally clear that all state institutions are in captivity, including private entities, organizations, not only state institutions, because you can talk about the parliament, you can talk about the judiciary, you can talk about these agencies like KCC and others. But even private entities, you can call them private or other entities which are not within the confines of the state, like political parties, they are all in captivity. That's what we said. And now, the parties themselves, putting it in the very terms Dr. Besigye used, have not adapted to the environment to redirect their focus and attention to the challenges we are confronted with right now. And in the end, the situations like this happen.
In fact, it's said to have not adapted to, more or less, to insulate themselves against...
Not only insulating. No.
Compromise.
No, you are putting it out of context. You are quoting him wrong. What exactly said? You see, he said parties have to behave like a virus. A virus is very slippery. You discover...
you have to mutate.
No, they keep on mutating. And that's the reason they are getting, he said, different strains. Even you had the COVID, we are having this. So many strains. It keeps on changing, it keeps on mutating. It keeps on, morphing from one form to another. So basically, that's how parties should behave or should conduct themselves in a hostile environment like we are in right now, under military rule, under family rule. Basically, that's what they should be doing. Not to operate as if we are in a multi-party dispensation to contest for power, control of power, but to confront military rule, to take on the family rule, to fight actually for political space, Basically, that's what we meant.
You know, when we talk about the goons and the kind of violence and what happened to Chairman Birigwa, it reminds me of what the party chairman talked about yesterday. In fact, he was talking about you, that you are organizing to cause some violence, and he was actually warning you that shouldn't. You can appear here to be cool, calm, and collected, but that's not what the party chairman thinks of you. In fact, I'm going to ask
party chairman,
the party president. In fact, I'm going to
the party chairman is Mr. Birigwa.
Yes, the party president.
Yes,
said that accused you of having orchestrating the elements of violence to disorganize Kampala. So let me ask my producer.
Haven't I been vindicated by the events of today? Ugly as they are, regrettable as they are.
Let me ask my producer.
Are they not vindicating me?
Let me ask my producer to bring back.
Are the events of them not vindicating me?
Poor talking about you on organizing violence.
PM Wasabirigwa.
I take note of the threats by my deputy Erias Lukwago, who is mobilizing for violence during the forthcoming National Council. This is something new in the culture of the FDC that he wants to introduce here. I appeal to my comrades to learn the new culture to which he was ushered in about 2 years ago. I have, of course, the record of the Lord Mayor is very clear. You know, he's been hopping from organization to organization, and this is being done for political expedience. He thought he would be a mercenary in the FDC, but we do not have room for any mercenary here. We don't.
The party president are poor, talking about you, sir. In fact, more or less, he's almost calling you a Johnny Come Lately who wants to become a mercenary, and that there's no room for mercenaries there. How do you respond to your party president on something like this? Because, you know, I remember that when you talked about violence, and for them, they think you are the master of violence.
But I told you I'm not a political novice, and I've been around for some decades. Ugandans know my record. It's well known, it's public knowledge. They know it. So is he describing a newcomer to the political scene? Ugandans know how I've fought for rule of law in this country. Ugandans know how I've been at the forefront for the fight for the restoration of multi-party democracy. Ugandans know that actually I'm one of the founding members of the reform agenda. For the record, even when, before the formation of the FDC, I was part of the processes that brought into place or into existence the reform agenda. Together with Dr. Pokawanga Semogerere. We were at, because when Dr. Pokawanga Semogerere declared he was not running again in 2001, we were handed over to Dr. Kizza Besigye at a very big function at Popopo. You recall very well. At that time, we opposed the Bwenje group. We opposed the Seya group. I was religiously following Dr. Pokawanga Semogerere, who delivered us to the Dr. Besigye camp, which was at Crescent, and then we started work. I was part of the Dr. Besigye legal team in 2001, for your record, for your information. I was part of that.
I remember.
Yes, you remember all that. I am hesitant. I didn't want to ask where was Power by that time. Try to trace his record then in 2001. Where was he? Where was he? You ask yourself. You see, people just want to, because he talked about political expedience. You ask yourself at that time when we were going into all this. I was court-martialed with Dr. Kizza Besigye by General Eri Tumwine. Indeed, I was convicted when he had just returned from South Africa. So was I just doing it for political expedience? All through all the elections that have taken place, the general elections, have supported Dr. Kizza Besigye.
This statement is not being made by just an ordinary member
let me tell you,
for democratic change. This statement
is
coming from the party president.
I wanted the people to pose. I wanted the people to pose questions to him when we were in FOC all through 2001, 2016. Where was he? Was he ever even arrested at all or even detained anywhere when we were in FOC? I am a deputy president of Dr. Kizza Besigye and the People's Government. And I was appointed in 2016. From where? So the talk of Johnny come lately is something which is laughable. You get it? So this is why I'm saying Ugandans know the record. And he himself, he doesn't believe in what he's saying. He knows it's not true. But that aside, I am one person, because he was talking about, he was alleging violence, that I have those attributes hopping from one organization to another, spread. And actually I've heard that mantra, I've heard that rhetoric going around, doing rounds. Some people accusing me of, you know,
orchestrating violence?
Orchestrating, masterminding, not only orchestrating, but masterminding violence. My God. If you knew how much I abhor violence, you wouldn't attribute it to me.
Let's shed a light on what has been happening the last 24 hours in your party, Mr. Vice President of FDC. You have actually washed dirty linen in public. What we have heard and what we have seen is smelly. And I don't think it's going to be easy for you to attract other new members to come and join you. It's going to be a Herculean task to convince Ugandans to be part of your group with what they have seen and what they have heard in the last 24 hours.
If I may borrow the words of my brother, the Honorable Semuju, I may pose a question to you. Who has dirty the dirty linen you are talking about? Is it me? Okay, that aside, agreed that there is a dirty linen of FDC.
Being washed in public.
Being washed in public. Metaphorically, if I may ask you, actually literally, not metaphorically, literally, if the laundry room is sealed off, is closed, and you have a dirty linen, where do you wash it from? If the laundry is closed.
The issue is, why is it closed?
You ask him, Poa and Nandala, who brought the chief, because our laundry room is Najanankumbi. Right now, the chairman went there to wash the linen from within, and he was thrown out violently, evicted from the party headquarters. So, Najanankumbi is our laundry room. It is locked up. It is guarded by chiefs. You go there, they maul you. So, where do you want me? You want me to wash the linen? If you want me to wash the linen, and you are saying the linen must be washed, so, Mr. Kamara, where do you want me to wash the linen from? So if I may ask you, where do you want me to wash the linen from?
You and your party president have a duty to find a way on how you can solve any misunderstanding that you have.
Can I give you this information? Indeed, the issue at heart, at the heart of this crisis, the kind of debacle we are having right now, the root cause of it, we have tried to handle it internally. It did not happen yesterday. Talk about, for example, the issue being probed by the committee, the Nabuisho committee.
The elders committee.
The elders committee. Have you interrogated the dynamics concerning the genesis of the same?
I understand yes. The Nabuisho committee was actually to sit and issue a report on Friday next week.
Before you talk about the report, where did it start from? The issues we're talking about came around in 2021 general elections. 2021. 2021. We are talking about 2023. You think we have been seated? Personally, I've been part of several meetings internally to address this. You have hosted me a number of times. Did I even insinuate anything or even talk about it? Actually, the public didn't know about this. Probably in rumors, yes, they could have suspected here and there, but it didn't come out of any of us. You should commend us for that. Give us credit, some of us. We kept that under wraps and you said we are going to handle it internally. That is washing the linen from within the confines of the party headquarters. The laundry there We tried to wash it from within, inside there. How? A number of meetings. We explained there was a meeting at Ichoto. There is that Catholic establishment in Namugongo. We had several meetings there. Even at Mr. Birigwa's beach in Busabala, there were meetings there. We had meetings at Dr. Besige's home. We had meetings at Katonga. We had several meetings at Najana Nkumbi. I was part of some of those meetings. But they came to a naught. And you recall what Dr. Kizabesige said. He said, okay, fine. Much as that issue is affecting the party, the credibility of the party, the cohesion within the leadership of the party, and the proper functioning of the party, he had shelved it. Who brought it into the public domain? It was the party president and the Honorable Nandala. They were moving around the entire country in the aftermath of the elections, meeting party delegates and leaders in different districts, actually across the entire country, in that evaluation of what had transpired in the elections, and we were maligning Dr. Besigye and some of us that Dr. Besigye did not support the Honorable Paul. You ask the delegates who participated in those meetings. Actually, the theme was about Dr. Besigye not supporting Power in the 2001 elections. They started maligning him. He kept quiet. We kept our cool. We restrained him. Let me tell you. Actually, let me complete this sentence. Let me just. We exercised maximum.
Also says you yourself.
Yes, myself as well.
And the
yes.
That you have in Kampala.
Yes.
Did not render that support to your party president even when he was in Kampala.
We exercised maximum restraint.
Why?
Let me tell you.
You have a candidate running for the topmost job in the country. You are the mayor of the capital. You have the capacity to bring in people and add value. You did not.
We gave a hint on it yesterday. A number of things were highlighted. But again, there are things we kept to ourselves and said we were waiting for the Nawiso report on 28th. There is evidence that we tendered before the committee. Personally, I did not appear before the committee, but Dr. Besigye was there. The issue of that questionable money, the suspicious money, what we call dirty money, evidence was tendered before the committee. And actually, there is no dispute about it. Even those people considered, let me tell you this, they even considered in those meetings. You ask quite a number of them. Ask a number of those people. They will tell you this. There are even individuals who were part of that team who are ready to testify and who confessed in those meetings. All that is on record. I don't want. Let me tell you this. How it turns out to be public.
Don't you as a party sometimes receive money from organizations or individuals who do not want?
No, I wanted.
Who maybe you have an NDA with them.
Can I explain that later? Because I was explaining the dynamics now which brought it into the public domain. Initially, we were handling it internally. What then changed for us to make it public? It was after those accusations of not supporting Dr. Kizabesige. I mean,
Engineer
Muriat. And even then, with that kind of unfair accusation, we did not blow the lid off. No. We waited for the formal processes. Get to the record. 24th and 25th of November last year, the Party National Council was convened for that same purpose, to evaluate the elections. 24th, 25th November 2022, at the party headquarters. The National Council comprises of all the chairpersons of the districts, all the members of parliament, and ourselves, NEC members, and a couple of other delegates representing different interest groups. So the parliament of the party.
Yes.
So when it was raised, again, Dr. Besigye was invited to explain himself. Actually, more or less put in the dock to explain why himself and some of us in the People's Government did not support Paul. He gave quite a number, and that's when that is the first time this matter.
So you and Dr. Besigye had a reason not to support.
Yes, this is that's what I'm telling you. That is the first time this matter of the money coming into public debate, but not outside the confines of Najana Nkondo.
So what you're telling us, Honorable Lukwago,
can I conclude on that?
Is that in the presidential election of 2021, you had a candidate of your party, but you're reluctant to
But it's
support
on record we did not support him.
So you didn't wish him well. You didn't want him you didn't want your party to win that election.
If we did not want him to win, we would have made this matter public around that time.
But how would he win?
Listen,
if
we were again categorical. We were categorical on that. We were categorical on that issue yesterday. Why we restrained ourselves against unleashing this information to the public in the heat of elections, because it would have that effect on the candidates, including Paul. We said no. So in National Council, when it was raised, in their wisdom, they said no. Let this matter be referred to a Council of Elders. Unfortunately, the Council of Elders is supposed to be constituted by the National Delegates Conference, and it's not yet in place.
What you're saying is very contradicting, because you have a candidate in this election, you're a senior party leader, but you're not lending your support, and you want him to win. Do you want him to win?
But I've explained their reasons. One, it was about that issue of the dirty money. Two, the issue of want of a campaign bureau, because there was supposed to be a campaign bureau for the party, not only actually for the presidential, for the flag bearer at that national level. No,
on the dirty money.
But I was trying to explain why we never featured in that election. So there was no campaign bureau to conduct elections. But subsequently, the power constituted one headed by the Honorable Birigwa, the party chairperson, but it was disbanded by the National Secretary General. So there was no campaign bureau. Those are two reasons. Three, there was nothing like any arrangement plan for the campaigns. You heard what Dr. Besigye said yesterday. No plan whatsoever. And the candidate came in as a, an afterthought, kind of, because all hopes were Dr. Besigye offering himself again. You ask all members of the party, they had pegged their hopes on Dr. Besigye's candidature, 2021. Unfortunately, he had made a resolve way back in 2016. He had said never again to participate in these elections. And he said now the fight is about dismantling the junta. And we usher in a new political dispensation that would engender free competition for power. That's where the attention was. And that actually is up to now. Now, and a couple of other reasons. But we wished him well. And there were attempts. We had several meetings because many of us wanted to have a common front. Time and again you were asking us.
The forces of change.
Yes, you were asking us, opposition. Why are you disunited? Why are you not coming together? Why are you fighting one another? Why don't you constitute a common front to take on the Museveni regime? Why? And I'm trying to unpack the reasons right now. There are forces within us who are hell-bent on frustrating and scattering all efforts at creating that kind of platform we need.
So you don't unite?
So that we don't unite.
Cohesion, but
break that cohesion. So basically, there are quite a number of reasons. That's what I was telling you. But would you allow me complete that process where I said,
yes, Mr.
In the National Council, members said, no, let this matter go to a committee of small people so that it is resolved internally.
The Elders Committee.
The Elders Committee. But the Elders Committee or Elders Council is a constitutional body which is supposed to be constituted by the Delegates Conference. But I told you it wasn't in place. We sat in NEC and thought about it. We said, what can we do? There are people like Augustine Ruzindana, the Amanya Mushegas, the Who, there are a couple of them. Can we reach out to them? Unfortunately, many were not willing. And then we zeroed in some kind of a special elders committee headed by Nabwisu. We constituted it ourselves. And we tasked the committee to probe into this matter and present a report to National Council. All this was kept under wraps. Did I discuss it in public? No. And I was part of all these meetings. All the meetings I'm talking about, I attended, we built a consensus and put in place the committee, and the committee started its work.
You tried to keep a lead on the issues.
Exactly.
Until when you decided
I'm answering the question you posed, why are we washing the dirty linen in public? But I'm telling you, we started internally within the laundry, inside, until it was sealed. It was locked. We were thrown out, put under lock and key. So we are saying...
And that's when you decided to
Dr. Besigye appeared, and many witnesses appeared there. So when the witnesses appeared there, and we said, but now we have entered into again another election cycle, because we're supposed to have elections to revalidate our structures. And he said, you know, it's not proper, it's imprudent actually for us to go into that exercise to open up elections now before we put this matter to rest. Why don't we give this committee a chance to finalize its work? They present a report, then we embark on the exercise. When we have resolved this issue, we agreed and stopped the process for 1 month. For 1 month, ending a couple of weeks ago. What happens? We said in those 2 months, in that 1 month rather, we shall have a naked retreat. Last year in December, we had a naked retreat to discuss these matters. And it was hot. We were at Garuga. During that festive season, we were at Garuga towards Christmas.
Discussing this matter.
Discussing these matters. We went on Friday and came back on Monday. The whole weekend we were there. In charge the meeting. And we never spoke about it. Not even at any talk show, not even in a small meeting. We didn't talk about it, but it was charged. The National Council, I'm telling you where Dr. Besigye raised it was charged. But we did not discuss these issues. Actually, for the record, we even put out, we threw out to the media. We said the media shouldn't cover this. This is a family affair. Let's handle it internally. So we had that retreat. So this time around, we said, now, let's go back to a retreat. As the committee is working on this report, let us also have a retreat. We said also, let us have an interface with the members. We have 31 members of parliament. And that one happened at the tail end of the period of 1 month. And when the MPs also appeared, we said, let's also go into a retreat. Let's stop this process. What happens? These two gentlemen, the Honorable Nandala and the Honorable Power, protested, resisted this, and said, no way, for us we have to go into elections. After a resolution had been made, where they also agreed, and that we should have these processes. Before we go into a retreat, before we do all this, before even the report is given out, they decided to roll out the program. And they were supposed to have elections on Monday this week, 17th. And that's what compelled us to call the Zambia meeting to say now we need to account to the members of the party. Otherwise, we would be held responsible and say, you people, all along you knew all this information and you kept quiet. Probably you also questioned what happened, what was going on. So we wanted to explain to the members. That's how we ended up calling the district chairpersons, accounted to them, and never did we threaten to cause violence like it's being alleged by Paul. So when we called the meeting, we talked to them. It's now you can imagine that.
But exactly.
But you have gotten the chronology of events.
Yes, you have given the background.
Yes.
You have given the background.
And I thank you for the time given to me.
That's the reason why you're here.
Thank you.
Because Ugandans need to know.
Because I needed to explain this. It's as if we came out of the blue to start hitting one another in this altercation or whatnot. No, we are adults of sound mind for that. We are reasonable people. So you know everything I do. Let me tell you this.
When you are soliciting
let me tell you this. He has accused me of being violent. let me tell you, I'm one person who is reasonable. And in everything that I do, the guiding principle is what would a reasonable person do under such circumstances. There are lots of things I wouldn't do. So like what happened today, if I were to be violent, you mean I don't know where they hired those goons from?
But
I know, I'll tell you for sure.
You know where the goons are.
I know where they are. I have told you myself, when it comes to self-defense, I can be a warlord. When it comes to self-defense. And that's the reason I've survived in the murky waters of Kampala. Do you think you can survive in Kampala that long? Just ask one politician who has survived in the politics of Kampala, like myself. Just ask one. All this long.
The Honorable
Do you know the reason?
Lukwago,
Do you know the reason?
You have the capacity of becoming a warlord.
That's the fact when attacked. When attacked, I'm like a porcupine. You attack, I repulse you.
So you have a structure.
Not a structure.
You can, command and control.
All these people are within my territory.
Yeah, I mean, you have a structure.
Even those boys they hired.
Command and control.
All those boys they hired.
Within 1 week, you can turn yourself into a general.
Can you imagine? They even got some of my team to help them do whatever they did. They paid them. They paid some of my boys to go and get those goons for them. They are not my goons, for the record. But I know where they are. I know where they stay. I know where they operate from.
Mr. Lord, do you know what you're talking about right now?
Yes. And I own it up. I know it.
You know their leaders.
I know them.
You know how to hire them.
Hiring I may not be.
You can deploy them.
No.
You can actually become a warlord.
No.
You can actually become a warlord.
No. I'm telling you, I know where they got the goons from. Not that I can hire them. No. I know where they got them.
They used your boys to hire them.
Yes, that I know. That is for the record.
You have a complete structure of violence.
No.
You have your boys.
No.
You know where they are.
The boys I'm talking about, they are the political activists who were used as agents to hire these goons. And I know where they went and hired and how much they paid them. You cannot operate in the city without intelligence. You cannot.
That's a complete tacticture of violence.
I would be disingenuous. I would be lying to you. I would be lying to myself and to you if I said I don't know where to find those goons. I know.
Hold on to your point, Lord Mayor, because you're going to take a break. And on the spot, we'll be right back. Welcome back. You're watching On the Spot. My name is Patrick Amara. My guest tonight is the Lord Mayor of Kampala and the FDC Party Vice President for Buganda, the Honorable Erias Lukwago. You know, earlier I wanted to know, is it normal, modus operandi, to receive money from an organization or an individual, but he is maybe signing an NDO with you, a non-disclosure agreement, so he doesn't want to be known? Is that normal way of doing business?
Yes and no. Yes, in situations where you have come out with an arrangement that there are areas we can venture into to solicit for funding, especially in an environment, hostile environment like we're operating in now, and agree the limits of disclosure. The limits of disclosure.
What do you mean the limits? The
limits should be confined. The information may be confined to particular leaders. Okay. But not necessarily to say one or two, no. You can say not beyond the neck, or it can be within the circles of the elders of this particular cluster. That must be agreed upon. And the framework must be laid out.
It should be a group on the need-to-know basis.
It should be well laid down and should be well known.
Okay.
You get it? Which is not the case here. This is what I'm saying. which is not the case here. In this particular case, when this suspicious money came in the first place, before we even talk about the money coming in, there was no agreed framework that if you get money from some classified source, a source which wouldn't want to be identified, or whose particulars wouldn't be made public or known to the wider membership of the party, this is how it should be treated. That arrangement is not there. You will not find it anywhere in the books, in the rules and regulations of the party. That is one. Two, even if it were to be the practice, the first category of the people would be the elders. And you would start with the founding president. Because for all intents and purposes, he's the face of our struggle, has been such for a long time. So there is no way you could keep him in the dark on this particular item, on this particular. And one way or the other, you want him to get involved. Like I've told you, there are limits I don't want to cross here. There is evidence that was tendered before the committee, and we're waiting for the report.
So the money came in, the alleged dirty money came in, maybe to one individual. One individual said not to tell you, but you got to know anyway. How? It's
known to two. It was spent by two. It was confined to two individuals. That is alien. Let me call my producer. That is alien. Let me ask my producer on the issue of the dirty money. Because the elephant in the room is that the money came from the chairman of the NRM party. The allegation is that it came from President Yoweri Museveni. So I'm going to ask from producer to bring that, and we get to hear what actually Engineer Patrick Oboy Amuriat is saying about this money, which seems to be the elephant in the room.
The first worst funded election is of 2021. The other one was over 10 billion, 15, but this one was not even 3 billion. Why? Because the so-called who would have been able to assist were not there. And why? Because it was in Yamrat standing and was properly abandoned. In Kampala here, I will give an example. Lukwago, Road Mayor Lukwago ran away from every candidate of FDC. Every candidate of FDC, including Engineer Amuriat. In fact, we have a petition which says he went against the party. If you cannot support your own, now you want to come to support who? Funding of the 2021 elections, a borrowing was made, and accountability for all funds spent made to the first working committee and NEC preceding the 2021 general elections. Disclosure of some sources of funds for the campaigns is not possible, because throughout our life as a party, we have maintained a policy where sources of funding that don't wish to be disclosed are kept confidential. And we got to take note of this. We are not going to the marketplaces to betray people who have supported us financially. Some of them are in business. Some of them may be working in government, but do not believe in the government of the day. Some of them may be ordinary citizens who may not want to be disclosed. And so the last thing we shall do is to betray our allies.
Okay, that is Engineer Patrick Amuriat, and before that we had the Honorable Nandala Mafabi. In fact, Nandala Mafabi is repeating that accusation of you actually saying there was no money in that election,
But
and that you withdrawing your political clout and capital.
But in the same footage, you had the party president saying, no, actually they got money from sources that never wanted to be.
Well, there wasn't as money.
Disclosed.
There wasn't as much money as in the previous elections. That's what they're comparing the previous elections.
How much was spent in this election? Because at least he had the audacity of telling you previously it went to the region of 15 billion and beyond. In the case of the worst funded election of 2021, how much was it? You see, they want to play the tribal card. What they're insinuating is what they have been actually propagating around.
A tribal card?
Yes, tribal card.
In what sense?
In what sense? What they are talking about is that, you see, they are not supported because of tribal sentiments. That's what they have been insinuating. Actually, they are giving it two reasons. Why they are saying, Lukwago, I ran away from them. They are saying, actually, we are trying now to sell the party to NUP. Dr. Vesj, myself, and all these people in people's government, our scheme is to sell off the party to NUP. That's what they are propagating amongst the party members. Two, we are against them as Easterners, which is dangerous. And that's why I kindly implore my brothers. I hold them in high esteem. I hold no ill will against any of them. They should climb down. Dr. Vesj told them yesterday, step back a little bit. Have some critical reflection on all that has transpired. Do some soul searching. Come to terms with the reality. Listen to the party members and what Ugandans are saying. So that attitude is taking them nowhere, and it doesn't take the party anywhere. To say that actually those two are the ones who love the party the most. That is the picture they are portraying. That actually the party means the Honorable Nandala and Power. Can I give you the entire list of all they are alienating? A party they are talking about, Birigwa is a persona non grata. You saw what happened to him. Persona non grata at Najana Kombi. Lukwago, the deputy president, I'm bad. There is the deputy president, Northern Uganda, P.P. O'Kane. Okay. Because there are 4 deputy presidents. P.P. O'Kane, he's equally bad. Deputy president, Western, Nzo, where is he? Deputy president, Eastern, my dear sister, Anna Deke Ebaju, where is she? Then you ask other NEC members. Then you ask the founding president, Dr. Chizabesi. You ask for other eminent members of the party like Mzee Kandonda, Hodalebo Wafrogutu. You ask for all the members of parliament. Can you imagine? They addressed a press conference without even a single member of parliament, without even a single chairperson of
back, that has been a pattern. There are people.
Don't you ask yourself?
There are people of high name recognition in FDC who actually disembarked this vehicle long ago. People like Augustine Ruzindana, before even Amuriat came in. People like Jack Saviti. People like Garuga Musinguzi, who gave you the party headquarters. People like Amanya Mushega. People like Professor Gengala Tigo. People like Munini Mulera. They left long ago. These are men and women of high repute. This has been a pattern. Now, you should even ask yourself, what happened?
Now, you are exonerating me. Because they have been saying that when I joined the chaos started in the party. You
accelerated the chaos.
No, the chaos came into the party. By the time those people left, were they a full-fledged member of the party?
I'm not sure whether they left or what, but at least I know they are not as vibrant as they used to be.
Are they all citing me as the problem? All those you have talked about. And by the time they left, who was the SG? Who was the Secretary General? Can he account for that? Can he explain why? So I'm sorry to pose all these questions in the open, which ordinarily would be discussing internally, and I'll keep on apologizing to members. This is out of the ordinary. Under normal circumstances, I've told you, I'm an adult. I'm 53 years old. There are things I know we should be discussing in Thailand. Not here. But I have no choice. You get it? The headquarter is sealed off. The neck where we have been discussing has literally been disbanded. It is almost dissolved. National Council is hanging in balance. We are supposed to have a meeting on 28th, but with the treatment the chairman has been subjected to today, when he went there but imagine on 28th, what's going to happen, the chaos that's going to happen on that day. It's just going to be a day of mayhem, infamy.
Honorable Lukwago, what I've noticed, every time FDC is going through an election or preparing for an election, there's always some kind of controversy. Are you scared?
It's not only FDC.
FDC.
Let me tell you
we're not talking about FDC because
broadly speaking.
So the problem is elections. Every time you're going to face an election.
And this is not unique to FDC.
There's an implosion of sorts.
No, it tells you the implosion actually in the country. There's an implosion in the country. And if we were to have enough time to discuss that, the critical challenge we are faced with as a country, you'd get to understand why we are grappling with this kind of environment.
The fear of election.
Not the fear of elections. The moment you organize elections and actually you must give credit to FDC, they had tried to cushion the party. The party has tried to cushion itself against all these shocks. Otherwise, let me tell you, this invisible hand of Kaguta Museveni cannot let you, actually the family rule, Museveni with his family, they cannot let you conduct a free and fair election without any interference. They would always have to come in.
Sometimes really you have to pause and don't accuse that man, because what is happening really is an Italian job, it's an inside job.
But we are discussing suspicious money. What is causing, actually you said the elephant in the room is the dirty money. And all evidence, cogent evidence for that is pointing at him.
Why didn't you tell
that is actually the source of this dirty money?
When you called in people at Sharing Hall to share that information, why didn't you also share the evidence?
No. We repeated it yesterday. We said we want to behave like a civilized people.
Then you'd have
Listen, let me complete the statement. This evidence was taken to a committee. The committee has prepared a report on the instructions of National Council and the NEC, where I sit. And the report is supposed to be made public on 28th. So we said, let's give this process a chance. Let's give the Honorable Nabuiso Committee the chance to complete the process, present the report to National Council, we debate it publicly. And I request you, if the report is made on 28th, you invite us to discuss it, the merits and demerits. If there are gaps, because we are hearing, it's being doctored right now. That's what we are hearing.
By the elders?
No. Initially, the elders said they were not going to give it to anyone. They would present it to National Council. But we were treated to a shock when I have images, actually even a video footage, where the party president is at the headquarters receiving a copy of the report. We said, now why? If they were supposed to present it to us, they should have presented it to NEC. Because I sit in NEC. We were supposed to have a retreat. Probably they should have submitted it to the retreat of NEC. But they decided to give it to the party president. But now, and for him, he's privy to what is in the report.
There's a lot of mistrust. Even the elders whom you trust, who should be men and women of good character, values.
One of them, who is our party chairperson in Mbalala and has been running for the position of mayor in Mbalala City, the Honorable Katembeya Stanley, resigned on that account. And he said, look, the committee, members of the committee, denied him the opportunity of even looking at the draft report. Even the lawyer himself, Tugume, who was the legal counsel, said, but can I also be privy to what you people are piecing together? They said, please, no. This is a no-go area. And Katembeya had to resign. That the secretary to the committee,
so the
secretary to the committee was appointed by the Honorable Nandala, the Secretary General. How can an accused person appoint a clerk to court? You are not choose the person. Then you have the prerogative of appointing the clerk to court. The clerk to court who takes the record. Actually, not even a clerk, because the registrar.
So at one point you seem to respect the elders committee, but now the architecture of that committee is not something you agree with. So
that notwithstanding, you can. This is now explains how our magnanimity, our civility, that all that notwithstanding, we said, let's give this process a chance. I think you should commend us. We would have denounced this committee a long time ago. The resignation of Stanley Katembeya is one of the patriarchs of the party, a very staunch member of the party. But he took a decision and he resigned. That would be enough for us to denounce this whole process. But we said, no. Let's wait for their report on 28th.
Let me request again, my producer, because there's that very particular
That's how magnanimous
there's that
we are.
very particular clip where Engineer Patrick Amuriat is talking about the money, the allegation that is coming from President Yoweri Museveni to the FDC party. And let's hear what he says that he's being accused of and what his response is, because he talks about the money coming from the president. And that's the allegation, that's the big thing.
Of course, Honorable Semuju Nganda, our Lord Mayor Lukwago, and others have continuously peddled claims that we received large sums of money from President Museveni, what they called unknown sources, to hand over FDC to him. This is just pedestrian, just thinking from this faction. FDC is a political party with structures and stakeholders.
Also, for the record, the party has never got money from Museveni's regime, as we are accused. The only money that the party receives from government of Uganda through the National Electoral Commission is legal and has always been fully accounted for.
Okay. I thought I should bring out that. But it beats my understanding. Why would President Museveni give money to his opponents in the middle of the campaign?
But the explanation is there. And it's the accusation leveled against
that he's giving you money so that you can get him out of office?
No. That we do not come together. You ask those people if they want
but
us.
Look,
wait a minute.
Amuriat was a presidential candidate.
Listen.
Yoweri Museveni is a presidential candidate.
Can I tell you this? I'm deputy president, People's Government.
Yes.
They are denouncing the People's Government. They are saying it must be disbanded. Yet this is a war cabinet. We say this is a war cabinet. It's a war front. Not a war in the sense of fighting armed war. No. They are against People's Government. We launched the Red Card Front, and it was supposed to be anchored by the FDC as the main party. Did we even ever hold even a single meeting of the the Red Card Front? Doesn't it intrigue you that all the meetings we had were at Jema? Do you recall very well? We made attempts, and we never disclosed this. We made attempts to have at least 1 or 2 meetings at our home in Najanankumbi. They said never. You will not come over here. You will not step here. Go. Take away those things away from here. So theirs is to fight activism. 2, coalescing behind a common cause, coming up with a common platform. It's the reason there is that persistent drive to push, that drive to create a wedge between the FDC and other political formations, particularly the NUP. That accusation that we are selling the FDC to NUP is not innocent. And actually, it has ripple effect. It can play on the psyche of the unsuspecting members of the party. Those, for lack of a better word, I would call gullible, would think, actually, these people are right. The narrative they are driving here that I ran away from all the party candidates here, which is of course not true. I supported quite a number of them. But I could not force the voters to tick them, to vote for them. I could not force them. But the point is, you will ask these people, why are you saying that it is dangerous to ally with NOP to fight Museveni? Why? Without necessarily creating a merger. No, but a common front. The same accusations Mao leveled against me when I was still in DP. I was working closely with the FDC, supporting Dr. Kizza Besigye, running around, all these activities, FOC, 4GC, People's Government, every activity I was involved in. And all along Mao would accuse me of attempting to sell DP to FDC. Because
you're not putting the same energy into your party, DP.
But the very Amuriat and Nandala were happy with my conduct at that time. Not supporting Mao as a presidential candidate in preference for Dr. Kizza Besigye. They were happy with it. And they applauded me, by the way. They lauded me for that. Oh, you are a patriot. You are a member of DP? And you are not supporting Mao for president? You are supporting Dr. Kizza Besigye, who is not DP, who is FDC? Oh. So listen, now they are turning around and they're saying, this man is the worst. How can you abandon your party candidate and you, not actually, they're not accusing me of supporting anyone else. You abandoned your party candidate. So why didn't they also chase me away when I was supporting Dr. Besigye and say, go back and support Dr. Kizza Besigye? Those very people, listen, I will ask you, they have, and I must commend them for supporting me. The Honorable Nandala has always supported me for the position of mayor. For the record, 2011, 2016, I wasn't on FDC ticket. And since that time, by the way, FDC has never had anybody
run for Lord Mayor.
Run for Lord Mayor.
When you're around.
When I'm around. They have never had anyone. So Power supported me when they were FDC and I was DP. Nandala supported me.
So let me,
and I must commend them for that.
I just want to understand.
Why did they have to do that, to support me when I was not on their ticket?
That's the nature of politics. You don't have permanent enemies and permanent friends.
No, it's not about enemies.
The strategies keep changing.
No, the rationale and the logic is very simple. We must create a common platform for all forces of change. That is the ideal. That's what we should be doing right now.
So you're talking about,
and their mission is to scatter all those efforts.
When I look into that parliament, you see the Honorable Sevu Gwao on the other side. You see the Honorable Beatrice Anyuar on the other side. You see now the Honorable Norbert Mao on the other side. You see, now your own members of opposition, members of the forces of change are actually across the aisle on the other side opposing you in parliament. I mean, where is the opposition headed for Uganda?
But we have already sounded these warnings to you. And it's the accusation they are leveling against me, that hopping from one organization to as if there are so many, by the way. It's from DP to, it's like they are saying, when they talk about
a political nomad.
No, yes. they are insinuating that probably have been jumping from one formation to another. They are counting actually Subi, they are counting TJ. But we also had for FOC. Are they suggesting at one time Dr. Besigye quit FDC and joined
Action for Change?
There was also 4GC. We also have People's Government. Are they suggesting that Dr. Besigye is also a nomad from Reform Agenda to FDC to FOC to 4GC to PAFO?
Okay, hold on to your point. Hold on to your point, Honorable Lukwago. We are going to take a break. When we come back, you two are going to have a time to have your say. That's the moment when you send in your questions or your comments on our social media platforms. I'll read them so that the Lord Mayor can respond to you. We'll be right back. Welcome back. You're watching On the Spot. My name is Patrick Amara. My guest tonight is the Lord Mayor of Kampala, but also the Forum for Democratic Change Vice President for Buganda, Erias Lukwago. This is the moment when you have to have your say, and your questions and comments have been coming in. I'm going to read them so that the Honorable Lukwago can respond. Let me begin with here. Good evening, Patrick. I knew all those conflicts will happen in FDC when that Mulodi joined with all his confusion from DP. He came with red card movement. He fought Musisi in KCCA. Now see how the capital city of Uganda looks like. Time has come for NRM to fish smart members. When General Muntu was leaving, he told to them that time will tell. NRM, we are watching and welcoming all smart members to join movement. Thank you. Christopher K, watching from the tourism city. And Okello Patrick Buonyo from Busega says, the scuffle in FDC camp is just power struggle between two factions. The trouble is now Dr. KB have already sided with one faction, yet he is an elder in the party who should have called the two warring factions and have a decent conversation. Money may be an issue, but not such to cause the flame we are seeing now. Dialogue is still possible. Even the agitators are not holy, and maybe they want to stir waters and watch from a distance. That was, FDC claims this to be all about them, but in the long run, this is an NRM, NUP, etc. political card. So sort everything as fast and confidential as possible and get back to business. This goes to the Lord Mayor, Erias Lukwago, and he says a blessed night to you. Tikatika Luasa Ronald from Chialugaba, we're all having hope in Lord Mayor Erias Lukwago to be our leader for Uganda from Buganda. But the time when Lukwago ignored the Bobby Wine and decided to join FDC, which has completely failed for many times, all of us, we lost interest in him. So be sincere, Mr. Lukwago, with your group to join the struggle, as you say, and join NUP for liberating Uganda. Let me try to pick two more here. This is Sembusi Ivan from Kalerwe saying that the following may be the reasons why we saw wrangles within the FDC party. Position posts, disrespect, hypocrisy, selfness, party leadership regional imbalance, diversions, eyeing next 2026, 2031 general elections. Those are the views of Sembusi. Thanks NTV for always being exceptional. So Power represented the FDC in the last election, but they didn't want him to win. Kinochika. Okay, so now, how do you respond, Honorable Lukwago?
Well, the first comment came from an NRM zealot. He self-confessed NRM apologist. And I have nothing to say about what he has commented. He has the right to hold that view. I don't begrudge him, it is his opinion. Probably the people we are talking about the struggle that Lukwago ought to have joined the NUP and to advance the struggle. My message to you people. You see, this is not about one political party is advancing the struggle, and that's where you people go wrong. This struggle is not for the FDC, it's not for the NUP alone, it's not for any individual alone, it's a collective responsibility. And that's the message we're putting across. And unfortunately, that's why some elements are resisting this direction we want the party to take. And that's why for us we said FDC was started as a forum for democratic change, as a platform for the struggle. A place where, a forum where all forces of change would converge, advance a common agenda. And in the Nsambia meeting, we said we are repositioning the FDC to take charge of that particular mission. We are redirecting the FDC to its original mission and vision. In other words, it's like you take a vehicle for wheel alignment. We are trying to realign the FDC to its original mission and agenda. It's not about destroying FDC. This is specifically to the members of the, and those who have raised the issues here, pointing, accusing fingers to some of us. I will ask you, are you comfortable with the direction the party is taking? The same message we used to put to the DP members. And indeed, you see where it ended up with Mao in stewardship. We are called all sorts of names. For me, I was insulted. I'm telling you, all kinds of tribes of insults were hurled against me. What the Nandalas and my brother Paul are doing right now, maybe just something, just a tip of the iceberg. The insults they have heard, I ignore what even they are talking about to me, because it's diversion and I want to focus on the struggle. So we want to realign the party to its original mission, and that's the reason we are not going to be deterred in our pursuit of bringing together all forces of change. So nobody is going to, you see those who are saying we are positioning ourselves for 2026, that actually there's somebody who was saying that they had hopes in me standing for president, but I didn't join. No, but you ask themselves, you ask those people, isn't that a contradiction? Anyway, you get it, you get the point. It's not about positioning myself, pursuing particular selfish interests of becoming the president, even if I don't become the president of this country, even if I don't get any party flag. For heaven's sake, all the years I stayed in DP and I fought the struggle in DP for restoration of parties, for democracy, against dictatorship and whatnot. All those fights I involved myself in. I never assumed the topmost position of the party, leadership of the party. No, I never became the party president. So it can always happen anywhere. So it's not about jostling for position. And this is what we have emphasized and stressed. It's not about jostling for positions that I want to be the presidential candidate for 2010. That's not the point. That's not the point. And there is this message also, let me use this opportunity also to respond to this accusation that actually in the people's government and indeed Dr. Chiza Besigye, we are against elections. And that has played on the psyche of many of the party members who are looking at the 2026 fortunes being affected. We are saying, no, it's not about that. We are saying elections by and in themselves cannot remove Mr. Museveni from power and his family. And let us redirect the struggle to the family rule, where Mr. Museveni is in charge of the country with his brothers, with his wife, with his son, and a few in-laws, and so on and so forth, with colossal sums of monies being allocated to the family. And we are saying, please, this is the crisis we are faced with. Let's focus our attention on that. Let's get our guns blazing against that particular dynasty. Now you get the guns turned against us. When you come out to explain yourself, they are saying, you man, you are troublesome, you are trouble causer. But where? Did I call it trouble anyway? Just calling one meeting. Only one meeting on Monday, which was not even called by myself. It was convened by the Honorable Semuju. And I've told you from the, after 2021 elections, all these years, our colleagues have been traversing the entire breadth and length of the country, hopping from one district to another, propagating poison against us. And we called on one meeting to detoxicate the toxins they have been propagating. And then you are saying we are trouble causers? Before Monday this week, today is Thursday, before Monday, where had you seen me say anything of this nature in public? And do you think these issues happened yesterday? Before Monday.
You have said...
I've explained this.
Keep the lead on them.
We have kept the lead.
And even us in the media, we never got to know that. So,
when the heat was too much, beyond the boiling point, it was simmering inside.
You still kept it within.
No, he contained it.
I want to thank you.
You must give it to us. You please give it to us. Containing the lead on against that heat. And somebody is there accusing you. People are disingenuous.
What's going to be your concluding remark tonight?
My concluding remark here is a call to the party members. Please, don't participate in elections tomorrow. Actually, whoever is participating, you are barring the FDC. The moment you participate in those elections, wait for the 28th meeting of National Council to give you direction to first resolve these issues. Can you imagine they are going into elections tomorrow without the voters register? We don't know the voters. The Honorable Nandala, the Secretary General, wrote a letter on 6th of last month. No, this month actually, saying that go into the exercise of elections as we compile the register. And we shall even be giving you gadgets at regional level to collect the data and you upload it onto the computers. Can you imagine that? That's how we are generating the voters register as we conduct the elections. How can that happen? Even if you are an ordinary person, you can always see that.
All
so
right.
basically, don't go into that election. Finally, make, you know, it's a call to the Honorable Nandala and the Honorable and Power. A call to Power. Reflect on what you are doing. Soul searching is important.
All right.
And the members, think about the pedigree of the party. What kind of party do you want us to bequeath to the generations to come? A divided party, a buried party, a moribund party, or what? So kindly reflect on this critically. Let's put our hands together and save the party. And for the forces of change, let's unite. NOP, the FDC, and all those other people who wish well, who mean well for this particular, for the country, please. Let's team up together. Let's forge a common front and advance the struggle to dismantle the family rule.
Honorable Erias Lukwago, Lord Mayor of Kampala, Vice President of FDC in Buganda, I want to thank you so much for the time you've given us.
Pleasure.
And for the explanation you have given.
Thank you.
And for those viewers, I want to thank you for the company you've given us for the last 1 hour. I know what is happening in FDC. In my view, those are sibling rivalry. They happen. FDC has gone through a lot of trouble. They have gone
It's not sibling rivalry.
but
debate.
Your brothers, aren't you?
No.
You have gone through tough times, and I'm sure you can go through these times again, and you've gone through a blast furnace. I'm sure you can do this again. By the way, I believe that a strong opposition is good for Uganda. A strong opposition is also good for the NRM. A strong opposition is good also for democracy.
And the family rule is bad for the country. You conclude it. And the family rule is bad
Uganda, we are
for
good,
the country.
We have a great country and we are good people, and we shall get there. Good night and God bless Uganda.